Boom! What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay. We're trying to get some cash here. It's Thirsty Thursday, Top Play Thursday, man. We got our guy Teddy Cover, special guest Teddy Covers, man. We hadn't had Teddy in a while, man. We also got our guy Ronald Cabang. Y'all know how we do it on Thursdays. Ronald, how you doing, my brother? Everything cool with you?
Yeah, pretty good, man. It's been up and down here with the NBA. College basketball, I've actually been on a bad run in college basketball. It's crazy because I went on like a 12-2 run, and then all of a sudden I just lost my last six. So it's kind of those things where you gotta just kind of keep going, right? I mean, like you're up on the season on a bad run, but you can't change everything just because you're on a bad run. A lot of the games that I lost to, like yesterday, I lost on a three-pointer with the last second when they were already down like 6 points. So it didn't really matter. They just shot the ball and then ended up not covering. So it's just those type of games that I've been having lately, and I got to keep running with it.
Yeah, let's keep going, Ronald. Can't hold you down forever. Teddy, what's up with you, my brother? We hadn't seen you on the show in a while. Glad to have you back. Is everything cool with you?
Yeah, I got no complaints. I got lots of complaints, but it's been yeah. The NBA's been I can't say it's been clicking, but we've been winning in the NBA. I'm 50 games over 500 in the NBA since last year at this time, and I've hit 60% counting every play every day in the NBA over the last full year. So I'm not going to complain too much, dude. It's been all right.
Yeah, now we could complain all we want, Teddy, but that's not really going to help anything, man. So we got to put the work in and try to get this cash. Yeah, there's always stuff to complain about, but we're going to try to get some cash today, man. Appreciate everybody for tuning in as well, guys. If you like the show, hit the like button as well, man. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, all that good stuff. It's Us Against the Bookies. We're all trying to cash here, man. Post your plays in the chat as well, your best bets, props, side totals, all that, man. We're all trying to cash here. 4 games up, and we're going to break down all of them extensively and try to get to some best bets in this one, guys. First game up. Let's head over here to the capital, man, of the United States. We're heading to DC. We have the Wizards getting 2 points at the house versus the Toronto Raptors in this one. Total sitting at 222 in this one, Ronald. I know a lot of people saying the Raptors have not been good on the road. They're 1-9 ATS last 9, land points on the road, all this. Sometimes, man, you kind of have to throw out those old season numbers, especially when teams are making trades as well, man.
Mhm.
And after the All-Star break, somewhat a different type of team, in my opinion, man. I don't care. I think the Wizards been beating up on bad defensive teams. They're facing a great one here, coming off a little win in this one. I like the Raptors -2 in this one, Ronald. I did take this last night at -1. How you looking at this game?
Yeah, the Raptors, I mean, they've been in pretty good form, winning 8 of their last 10 games. I think one thing that's paused for a lot of people was their ATS record on the road as favorites. I think they're like 1-9 against the spread in that spot. But I think the Wizards, they just been super inconsistent, especially since the start of February. They've been having a lot of roster issues. I think players being injured. I think one of the key players that's sort of big in this game, specifically this game here, Wizards without Monty Morris today, which is pretty big. I looked at how they do without Monty Morris. They're 4-6 straight up, 3-6-1 against the spread without him, and also they tend to struggle. I think it's one thing to note without Monty Morris is their offense struggles a lot. Looking at them as home dogs this season, they're 0-3 against the spread in that spot, losing by 8 points per game, and those are two teams that I don't think would be top tier. I would say top tier teams, but also another thing to look at as well is the first leg of back-to-back games against the same opponent. The Wizards are 1-2 straight up and against the spread in those games. The one game that they did win and cover was against the Bucks, but the Bucks did not have Giannis, Middleton, or Holiday. So a lot of things to me pointing towards the Raptors side. Like I said, the only thing that is for pause for me is that 1-9 against the spread as road favorites, but they're getting healthier and they're getting used to having an actual center on their squad here. And Van Vliet coming back, I think, is going to help a lot here, in my opinion. So I would only look towards the Raptors here. Porzingis coming back from a long layoff as well. We tend to like fade, when key players come back off a long layoff. So that's another spot that fades the Wizards here. One thing to look at as far as from a prop perspective is Anunoby unders 13.5 points. He got 17 versus the Bulls, but before that he went under in 6 straight. And surprisingly, the Wizards are one of the top teams at limiting points to forwards this season. So I would actually, if you want to take an over prop on someone, it would probably be Van Vliet. He's been, I think he has a big day today. Possibly a look to his threes as well, because if they're limiting the forwards and that's where their strength is in Toronto, it's going to be Van Vliet that's going to have most of the points or be the key guy in this game here.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Van Fleet coming off a game where he shot 1 of 11 from the field, 1 of 9 from three. That was his first game back. That was a home game as well, guys. So you know how I feel about when players just have a baby and they're playing at the house. They're staying up all night. They are on the road. I expect Van Fleet to. It's just common sense, Teddy, right? I mean, you just had a baby. You're not getting
I've
any
been
sleep,
there.
man. Yeah, I mean, so we all been there. Ronald as well. So when you go on the road, you don't have that baby crying at night, man. You actually get some sleep. So don't be surprised if Van Fleet has a lot better game here, Teddy. One interesting note here: Will Barton just got a buyout from the Wizards. Guess who he plays for now? He plays for the Toronto Raptors. Teddy, how you looking at this game, my brother?
Yeah, if Nick Nurse gets them off the bench, I mean, the Raptors have really not given their bench a whole lot of leeway this year, and that worries me about Toronto down the stretch, especially as we're talking about, this stretch run here where teams are going to play 20-something games in about 30-something days. So I worry about the Raptors' depth, and Barton could help long term. I don't think he's maybe going to be a factor tonight, although certainly facing his former team and a team that didn't play him is a nice little motivator. If he gets on the floor, there's dumber bets to make than looking for Will Barton overs in the prop market this evening. Toronto is way better than their record would indicate, but Toronto consistently plays down to their level of competition. We've seen it over and over again from the Raptors this year. They don't have the let's go for the jugular mentality. They got a cover against the Bulls the other night. It was a fraudulent cover in a real sense. They got a putback off a missed free throw. That was the difference against the spread in that ballgame with like 4 seconds left. That was made all the difference for Raptors backers. But Toronto is not undervalued in the markets. Washington's been the undervalued commodity of these two teams. And I'm not going to say I believe in the Wizards because I don't. All right. The Wizards, when it comes down to, do I trust them to win a game that's tied with 2 minutes left? Washington's not the team that I trust to do that. But Toronto's not either. The Raptors' end game has been real dicey this year. I think the better bet in this game might be to look at the total. Toronto's playing under. There's no pace to Raptors games right now. Okay, they're a really good defensive team. They are not a really good offensive team. You look at every recent meeting between these two teams, 4 straight unders cashing dating back to 2021, 5 of the last 6. You look at the way Toronto's been playing since the break, and boom, we've seen them cash nothing but unders. 3 games, 3 unders 4 games, 4 unders for the Raptors since the All-Star break. And the only game that Washington's gone over the total in their last 5 came against a high-scoring Hawks team, and that game just snuck over the total on the last shot of the game. So lean under for this one as the Raptors take on the Wizards.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off that as well, Teddy. Ronald, real quick, what do you think about that under as well? I lean the under. 2 defensive teams, and the Wizards have struggled versus good defensive teams as well. I just watched the game versus the Hawks. It was playing this morning. The Hawks weren't playing a lick of defense in that game, man. You go up against the Raptors, they're going to be in your face the whole game. Ronald, could you talk us off the under 222 in this one, my brother?
No, I really like I said earlier. I think not having Monty Morris there, not running that offense, they've been struggling offensively. If I remember, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think when I was looking at those home dog situations there without Monty Morris, I think they were scoring under 107 points per game in those games. I think there was like a 3 or 4 game sample size too. So yeah, without him running that offense there, I think it does hurt the offense. So I would say the under would be the way to go.
And they do get Porzingis back tonight, guys. So Porzingis has been out for, I believe, 3 games. He will be playing in this game. I don't think he's not on the injury report, but I still feel like this line might go down when they officially announce that Porzingis back. Maybe some buyback will come back on the Wizards here. I don't care. The Wizards have been coming out hot, guys. This is the last thing I have to say about this game. They have been coming out hot first quarter, first half. So I actually couldn't talk you off waiting on this one and getting a better line with the Raptors in game, and that the Wizards first half Raptors full game is actually plus 475. You might be able to find a plus 500 out there. So that's just what the Wizards been doing. They've been coming out hot, and then they'll fade over the full course of the game. However, I do think the Raptors win this game, guys. So I will take the Raptors minus the 2 in this one. So over to the streets of Dallas here, guys. We have the Mavs land 4 points at the house versus the 76ers in this one. Line has been going up. It was down to 2.5. It's back up to 4 now. Obviously, if Embiid plays, guys, and you do like the Mavs, you probably want to wait on this one. If you like the Sixers, you probably want to take take it right now, Ronald. Any thoughts on this game, my brother?
Yeah, I mean the Sixers on the second leg of back-to-back games. I think a lot of people are gonna to look towards fading them here in this spot. They do have the Bucks on deck as well, so that's a possible look ahead. The Mavs, they lost 5 of their last 6 games. Opponents going over their team total in 5 of those 6 games as well. If we look at it from an injury perspective, I know Embiid is considered questionable, but I was telling you right before the show, I heard a report that it's possible he's just going to be skipping first leg of back-to-back games for the remainder of the season because of his foot. So that's probably saying that he's going to play today, even though he's on their injury report. No one really of note on the Mavs side. Bertans is the only guy that I see there. From a trend perspective, Sixers 6-2 straight up and against the spread, and to the under on the second leg of back-to-back games, averaging 107.8, allowing 104.1. To me, a lot of things, I kind of want to stay away from the side here. I think the Mavs are still trying to figure out their offense. But one thing that I do think is with Embiid playing today, I think the pace is going to be a little bit slower. I think it's going to be a playoff atmosphere type game. And a lot of things in that sense, to me, really points to the under. Another thing to mention, too, if you include that the second leg of back-to-back game is on the road, they're 4-1 to the under in those games. The one game that went over, it went over by a point and a half because there was last-second free throws and fouls. So to me, the pace of play, defensive atmosphere, the playoff type atmosphere, I think this is going to be an under type game. I do want to just stay away from the spread here. A lot of things was saying like maybe take the Mavs here, but one thing that was that paused me on it was the Mavs have yet to cover as a non-conference home favorite this season, 0-8-1 in that spot. So for me, I would look towards the under in this game. I think it's a little bit too high for a Sixers game here on the road.
Man, my guy rocking with. I feel like Mavs got to play some defense, Ronald. If they
I think they
hit, but
yeah, exactly. I think they've known they got to know that they're giving it up on the defensive side of the ball. They can put up points with any team here. I think their main focus probably for the remainder of the season is trying to figure out how do they limit opponents, and that could probably start today in this playoff. I mean, it's one game that they could use to test their themselves on the defensive side of the ball against an elite team.
Facts right there. Teddy, how you looking at this game, my guy? First off, do you think Embiid plays? And then how you think that shift this game?
So I have no idea if Embiid plays or not. No idea whatsoever. I don't care if Embiid plays. I didn't care last night that he didn't play. Philly couldn't have been easier. I mean, the NBA, so many people get so fixated on is the star playing or not. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter if oftentimes it's better if the star doesn't play because everyone else on the team knows they have to step up. And the other team has a natural letdown, and it happens every single night. And yet I still get quotes, questions. Can we still play this even if Embiid's out? Yes, you can still play it even if Embiid's out. It's fine. It might be better. And Dallas, to me, is a one-way team at home. Dallas is home chalk. If you've been fading Dallas is home chalk this season, you bought a new car already. I mean, they've been this team has been a disaster. They've been not mediocre, not okay. They've been an abject disaster as home chalk. At some point, I thought maybe I was one of the only people that thought, hey, this Kyrie thing might work. All right. So far, it hasn't worked. I've been wrong. They have 1 point spread cover since they got Kyrie Irving. That came against San Antonio, a team that doesn't play any defense. We'll talk about them in a minute. And Dallas shot 56% from the floor, and they hit 22 3-pointers in that game. If they shoot 56% from the floor and hit 22 3-pointers tonight, they'll cover. I'm not counting on them to do it. By the way, Philly, second of back-to-backs, 6-2 straight up, 6-2 against the spread. They're not a team I worry about. They have the depth and they have the mentality to knock off a pair of opponents on the road. Philly or pass for this better. I don't want the favorite.
I wouldn't fade the Mavs here, guys. That's just me personally. And reading the last 2 minute reports as well, the refs did kind of sort of shaft them in the last game. You guys know I love backing the team the next game after that. I believe 4 straight home game as well, guys. I hadn't bet this yet. I want Embiid to get in there. I think it's going to be exact opposite of yesterday. Embiid ruled out. Everybody fades the team. They win in a blowout. Now I see Embiid getting ruled in. Now the Sixers get smacked up in this one. I see Tobias Harris have a letdown game. It was a big game for him last night, proving that he was that they shouldn't have took chose, but what he was saying, like Jimmy over me or something like that, man. So Tobias Harris, that was a real big game for him yesterday. I see a letdown here as well. Obviously, this could be a game where PJ Tucker could really be shown like that, how bad he's been playing, in my opinion. This is a game where PJ Tucker could really stick out like a sore thumb, in my opinion. I think the Mavs first quarter and the full game get it done here. I think the Mavs win this game from wire to wire. I think they come out hot. You look at the refs as well. I think they get a little ref help today, but I think this is the game where the Mavs break out, especially on TNT, on national TV. I think TNT, ESPN, regardless, ESPN national TV game. Sixers with the Bucks on deck. I don't like the spot for the Sixers. I think the Mavs get it done first quarter and full game. I want to wait for Embiid to get ruled in. There's no reason why I would take the Mavs right now if we think Embiid's going to play, guys. So if you like the Sixers, go ahead and take them now. I fully believe Embiid is playing this game. Road back-to-back, getting in late. I like Mavs early and often in this game, guys. Very unpopular opinion, but I always tell people take whatever you think is going to win, my guys. Any other thoughts on this game, Ronald or Teddy?
Just as the people in the chat saying that the Mavs don't play defense, you got to remember there's two teams playing today, and one team does play defense. So that's just what I want to say is just you can't just look at one side unless you're betting on one side. If you're saying Mavs don't play defense, then you want to take the Sixers team total over. If that's the case, but there's two teams playing today, not just one.
That's a fact, man. Yeah, man,
Dallas,
you never know, man.
-3 or higher this year. Dallas 9-23 against the spread. This has not been their role. It may become their role, but it has not yet been their role. And they've lost back-to-back games on this homestand in straight-up fashion as chalk their last two tries.
That's all right, Teddy. And Embiid will come in and get that down to -2, -2.5. My God. So we'll get that up under that 3-0. I think I like the fact that no one likes the Mavs today. I think I like those spots even more in this one, guys. So I like the Mavs first quarter, full game. I hadn't taken it yet. I'll wait Embiid to come in, and then I'll take it right before the game, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of San Antonio here, guys. We got the Spurs getting 5.5 points at the house versus the Pacers, man. Really tricky type of game. Obviously, we want to take the Pacers. It's Pacers nothing. Spurs coming off 9 straight road games as well, man. So they haven't been played at home in forever. They did finally get off that losing streak in the last game, got a win. Now they come home. I know they get Trey Jones back. They get another player back as well, but then Keldon Johnson is out in this one, man. So I don't know what to do with the Spurs. I don't bet their games. I'm off of. And to be honest, I don't want to lay 5.5 with the Pacers on the road as well with Halliburton questionable here, Ronald. So how are we looking at it? I don't. There's not a single person that's going to take the Spurs today, Ronald.
I don't think so either. I think obviously the Pacers look pretty good right now. They won 3 of the last 4, covering all 4 games. This is the 3rd game of a 4-game road trip for them, but you mentioned from the Spurs side, they haven't played at home since February 3rd. They did get the win, breaking that 16-game losing streak as well. From an injury perspective, you mentioned Hallie being questionable here. I think obviously we got to wait until we hear his status because that's definitely going to touch the line and the total from that perspective. But Spurs, they got a whole bunch of guys here on the injury report. They got especially some of the important guys. You got Branham and Keldon Johnson who are out. Vassell and Trey Jones right before the show, they got announced in. The one thing that I noticed is that the Spurs actually beat them earlier this season in Indiana. They flew over the total, 137-134. That was a regulation score too. Like they didn't even go into OT. I just wouldn't count the Spurs out here. This is for this one. The Pacers on at least a third straight road game in a row. They're 3-8 straight up, 4-7, and they get against the spread. If they say that they're facing a team with a losing record in that spot, they are 4-0 to their team total under as well. So they're not doing well on the offensive side of the ball in that spot. Pacers against teams with a losing record in general, they've kept their opponents under their team total in 23 out of 31 games. So for me, I think if I'm going to look at anything on a side or total perspective, I would probably look towards the Spurs team total under here. That would be the way that I go. I mean, obviously Vassell has been in a long layoff and we like to fade that spot there, especially on the offensive side of the ball. You're already missing Keldon Johnson as well. From a prop perspective, though, I do like Miles Turner over his PRA here. He's gone over 30.5 in 3 straight games after the All-Star break. And the Spurs are the second best matchup for centers when it comes to going over their PRA. So that's one way that I would look from a prop perspective.
It's a good look there, Ron. It's a definitely good look. I know Miles Turner. I think my guy Ski like Miles Turner over 3s as well in this one, Teddy. How you looking at this game? Is it super easy? We just take the Pacers and go to sleep in this one, Teddy?
Yeah.
Simple.
So, great comment in the chat from Gregory Brewer, talking about when I was talking about Dallas a minute ago, saying that's a different team with those numbers, Teddy. And in a sense, he's right, because it is different with Kyrie Irving for Dallas. But even with Irving, they're still not covering numbers. The reason I think that's relevant to talk about the Pacers and the Spurs, and why I brought that comment up here, is because the markets are having a really hard time pricing Indiana right now. And I know that personally I've had a hard time in terms of how do I adjust my powering for the Pacers. Because the Pacers, when Halliburton got hurt, the Pacers went from being a playoff team to a lottery team like that. They were 5, 6, 7, 8 points worse. They were awful. They were a bet against team for the better part of 2 months. They ain't anymore. Indiana has 3 wins and an overtime loss to the Celtics in their last 4 ball games. All right. They're playing much better basketball on both ends of the floor than they were a month and 2 months ago. Where do we price the Pacers? Do we price them back where we had them power rated in December when this team was like, a juggernaut and making everyone money? The markets don't have them priced there yet. The markets still have them priced as a team that's well below 500 over the last 2 months. So I think Indiana's priced in the wrong range right now. I think this team is back to where they were or close to it, and the markets aren't quite there yet. And then we talk about the urgency. You know me, I like the quotes. Here's Miles Turner, quote, "We're battling ourselves for a playoff spot. Our playoffs started right after the All-Star break. Every game matters for us, and I think we're going out there and playing like it." That's a bet on quote. Halliburton talking about Turner, quote, "Man, he's playing amazing. I don't know what he did during All-Star break, but he's got to keep doing what he did there. Today was the first time he got on me to get him the ball. I like that. I'm going to get you the ball. Go score." That was in the last game for Indiana. So, yeah, I mean, a short answer is I think it is that easy. Spurs, anyone that comes to play against San Antonio, anyone that's interested is going to win by margin. All right. The Spurs might steal a game against teams that aren't interested or aren't focused, but the Rockets, the Pistons, and the Spurs, anyone who's interested will win and cover by margin.
That's a fact. What if Halliburton sits, Teddy? Just a quick question. What if Halliburton does? I don't think that he does, but I'm just saying he is on the injury report questionable. They just have a couple of birthdays somewhat and coming off a big win. Do you think there's a chance? Well, would you still like the Pacers if Halliburton sat here?
I would still take Indiana if Halliburton sits without a question. That said, I wouldn't lay 6 with them if Halliburton sits. I'd rather lay 3.5 or 4.
What about you, Ronald?
Yeah, I mean, you would think that the Pacers are the side here. There's just way too many, like, I guess, narratives here that kind of says this might not be the spot for them. I'm gonna stay off it in general, but I think I would, if I was to bet anything on this game, it would probably be that Miles Turner look.
Yeah, I know. Miles Turner. Well, you like in PRA, couldn't talk you off Miles Turner threes as well. Buddy Hield, I think Miles Turner's threes is at 1.5. Buddy Hield sitting at 3.5. I know for a fact my guy Ski likes both of those. We expect a ton of threes, a ton of pace in this game, man. So this is definitely would be the prop game of the day. I don't think I've taken a Spurs prop all year, man, but this is a game that you definitely look at some props. And Halliburton, I just don't like to see him questionable in there. I mean, especially versus Spurs in this one. Why is he even questionable if it's a minor injury there? So let's see what happens in this one. But I mean, if you like the Pacers, I couldn't talk y'all fading the Spurs. It's definitely worked out well so far this year, guys. Last game up. Let's go over here to the streets of Golden State here, man. We have the Warriors, San Francisco Warriors getting 4 points at the house. Clippers laying points on the road, man. What are we? Oh, man. But fucking Clippers team. Teddy, what do we do with the Clippers, man? Are the Clippers good or are they bad?
Oh, Clippers are good. The Clippers and the Nuggets will meet in the Western Conference Finals. That's how good. I mean, that's my take right now. Now to get assuming they stay healthy, which there's urgency for the Clips right now. Okay, they've just lost 3 in a row, and the first 2 were insane games where they losing by the point in that crazy game against Sacramento where they didn't play any defense, and then rallying back and then losing an OT against Denver and not covering the number in that one. And the last time out, they were flat against Minnesota. It showed start to finish. It wasn't a good game. This is their step-up spot. And I mean, I understand Golden State, they rallied back to win by margin against Portland last time. They beat Minnesota, they beat Houston. I don't trust Golden State against good teams without Curry. I don't. Certainly not a team like the Clips who are going to be playing with their hair on fire tonight. And, are we concerned? The Clips are losing confidence, any of that kind of stuff? No. We're not being concerned about that at all. We got the quote, which I can't find right now. Russell Westbrook, quote, "I'm not one bit worried. We have an unbelievably talented group in this locker room, and we know what we have." And that, to me, is the key part of the quote. Clips know what they are. They're really good. All right, quote, "We just got to make sure that we put it together. I really feel we gave 3 games away thus far. We're going to get it together." Warriors may well be the right opponent to do it against. Clippers are laying here for a reason, -3.5, widely available as we speak. If I'm playing, I'm laying.
I'm with you there, Teddy. And Ronald, something I realized, man, the Warriors out there playing 3 guys that don't, I mean, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but maybe G League, I guess this, I don't want to say they're not playing NBA, but they're playing 3 guys like regular minutes, Ty Jerome, Lamb, and Baldwin Jr. I'm really surprised to see Steve Kerr throw these guys. I know you're without, but I'm worried about the Warriors' depth. I guess that's what I'm saying, Ronald.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk anyone off Clippers, just they burn me every freaking time I bet them, but I do agree this would be a spot for them here. Maybe first half as well. We know the Warriors have consistently came out slow in the first half, even at the house, Ronald.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, dude. Because I was doing some research last night because Curry's out, Wiggins is out, right? Both of these teams kind of going in the opposite directions. Warriors won 3 in a row, Clippers lost 3 in a row. If you just look at the roster, you're like, man, Clippers should take this pretty easily, and that's probably why it looks like they're the favorites today on the road. But if you look at it a little bit deeper, dude, this is the reason why I'm staying off of this game from a side and total perspective, is because there's so many competing things against each other, right? You would think that the Warriors, I mean, I looked at Warriors at home dogs, right? 4-0 straight up and against the spread, 4-0 to the under. The thing is, the Warriors haven't been great in revenge situations. They're struggling in that spot. They lost to the Clippers on the road there in the last matchup. They're 4-9 straight up, 3-9-1 against the spread in those games, right? The Clippers on first leg of back-to-back games, they're pretty flat from a side total and ATS perspective. But if you look at them specifically in road favorite situations, 13-4 straight up this season, 11-6 to the over. So you're seeing competing trends on the over/under, competing trends on the ATS and all that stuff. But this is where things get crazy, because I looked at Wiggins and Curry out of the lineup for the Warriors. At home, they're 8-1 straight up, 7-1-1 against the spread. They're winning games with this G League squad. 7-2 to the under as well. I mean, they're getting higher totals because if you look at their averaging, what they're averaging, it's 119.2 per game, allowing 111.8 per game. So that must mean if they're 7-2 to the under with that type of total combined score, these totals are higher. This one is a little bit lower. I think, what is it, 220? I forgot what the total is right today.
It's about 232.
232. Oh, well, actually, it's pretty high. So I would think that, well, from a prop perspective, I would go that route. I want to stay away from the side and total. Like on paper, it looks like Clippers, but when I'm looking at the stats, like the actual facts of Wiggins and Curry not being in the lineup, I don't understand how they're winning and covering with this type of lineup. That's just that's what questions me. You know what I mean? So I'm going to stay away from that. But I do, from a prop perspective, I do like Kawhi here over threes. He's gone over 3 in 4 of his last 5 games, averaging 3.8 threes made per game. Warriors' 9th best matchup for allowing threes to forwards. The other one that I actually like a little bit more is Westbrook over his assists, 7.5 assists. Since he's joined the squad, he's gone over in 2 of the 3 games with the Clippers. The one game that he didn't reach the assist mark, he was on a minutes restriction because they had that double OT game against the Kings before that. So he only played 25 minutes and he missed the assist mark by a couple. The Warriors are the 3rd best matchup as far as allowing assists to guards. In his 3 games, he's averaging 11.7 potential assists per game. So he's getting the opportunity. He's getting the minutes here. This is a key game for them. I think they want to get on the right side here, and that means he's going to play heavy minutes, and he's going to have those opportunities to get those assists. So I would say that those 2 props would be better than anything on the side or total that I could give you guys.
Yeah, that's a good look there, man. Yeah, now Ronald mentioned something to me yesterday where some of these games, man, the sides are super tricky. You can really look towards the prop market or looking at totals or team totals, and it's somewhat of a better bet. I can't tell you, man. The sides this year has been so up in the air. It's the 3-point shooting, man. It's the disparity. If you're making threes, you can blow any team out. But if you're missing them and you're missing them, and it's so crazy, they continue to take them when they're like 1 for 20 from three, and they just keep chunking. That's the craziest shit ever to me, man. But I do lean the Clippers in this one, guys. Teddy, anything else on this one as opposed to what Ronald said, or anything on total, anything before we get out of here?
Not on this one. No, I realized something I forgot to talk about with Wizards and Raptors, but nobody wants that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we get into the free pick segment here now, man. So the floor is you guys. Teddy, you can go first. Let the people know what you have to promote over at Wager Talk /Sports Memo, and also, I mean, say what you got to say about that Wizards Raptors, man. We all about info here.
Oh yeah, well, Wizards and Raptors. What I was going to say is the best bet might be to wait until the rematch on Saturday.
Facts. That's a fact.
Because especially in these pick'em type games, a lot of times I'll watch the first one and then bet the second one. That's a fact. Just coming right back to back, and oftentimes you're going to take the team that lost that first meeting to get their revenge the second time around. So that would be the most likely way I'm going to play Toronto Washington is wait. For tonight, look, I've got one play available over at Wager Talk and or sportsmemo.com. I encourage you, never buy a play. If you want to get on board, get a package. Like I said, the NBA 60% counting every play every day over the last 365 days. I'm proud of that. I worked hard to do that, and I don't know that I'm going to do it again, but we're darn well going to try. So best bet for tonight, look. And someone said in the chat that was spot on. He's like, yeah, look at the Warriors' record at home, and then look at the point spread, and that's telling you what the right side. This is a Clippers spot tonight. It's a Clippers game, and the Clips are the better of these two teams, especially without Curry on the floor. It ain't close. If Clay doesn't hit another 13 threes, Golden State's going down. And I like the Clippers minus the 4 in San Francisco this evening.
I like it, man.
Shop around.
I like it, man. Ronald, what we doing, man? I want to take it too, Teddy. I'm gonna ride with Teddy. But Ronald, what you liking on tonight's card? Anything to promote and best bets, whatever you like, Ronald.
Yeah, on Sports Memo, I just have a package up for UFC. I got 5 plays up on the UFC for this weekend's card. That's been really great this year, 2023. For number one MMA capper over at sportsmemo.com right now. So it's been really great so far this season. As far as NBA, college basketball and stuff, I haven't posted anything yet on Sports Memo. I'm probably gonna give out the Raptors. I think both myself and you, Jay, like the Raptors here. That would probably be the play that I give out here as well. I'm probably gonna make it a premium play after the show here. A lot of the leans that I talked about on the show, I want to give a recap of those as well. Is Van Vliet over points, Anunoby under his points, 13.5. Sixers, Mavs under. Miles Turner over his PRA, 30.5. Spurs team total under. Westbrook over 7.5 assists, and Kawhi over 2.5 threes. Those would be the leans that I want to give out. Not sure what I'm gonna get on the premium side or what I'm gonna actually bet yet, but Raptors, I did take it at -1 last night with you, and I'll probably give it at -2 here to the clients.
Yeah, them some damn good looks there, Ronald and Teddy there, man. Yeah, for me, I did bet Raptors -1 last night, guys. When Embiid gets ruled in, I will be betting Mavs in the first quarter and in the full game, and I also think the Mavs get over their team total as well, guys. So they could be a 3-pack right there on that game. I hadn't bet them yet. We wait Embiid to get. I'm not betting Mavs -4 if I think Embiid's. I mean, come on now, we got to be smart about this, right? And then that Clippers, I'll throw a heavy lean to the Clippers -3.5. I hadn't laid it. I do think it's the right side for whatever reason. I don't have good luck betting his teams, Teddy. So I might just stay off and let you cash. But I fully believe the Clippers are the right side. You guys made some great points. I mean, when you see them favored on the road here versus the Warriors, it's telling everything you need to know, man. So Raptors, I'll go say -2 in this one. Did get the -1 last night. I do think that's an under type of game, and I wouldn't talk you off watching the game. The Wizards do come out hot, and then they fade over the course of the game. They're playing a great defensive team here. I think the Raptors get them full game. And then, like I say, when Embiid's in, Mavs first quarter full game in that one, and I do like the Clips in that one, guys. Us Against the Bookies. Great show, man, with our guy Teddy covers our guy Ronald as well. Go follow Ronald right now on Twitter, man, at Sports. Follow Teddy as well at Teddy underscore covers. Does a daily show with Wager Talk, man. Both of my guys doing daily shows and man. Make sure you follow them. They tweet out all the content they do, man. We're trying to get some cash every single day. We will win, my guys. We're out. We back tomorrow, man. Hope you guys have a great day.